Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? Is it now working, guys? Are you now seeing me here? I'm going to be so mad. Oh my God. Ugh. Bro, I'm about to quit lives. I don't know. These lives hate me. I've been chatting away, implementing this for 30 straight minutes, talking to myself apparently. Wow, that stinks. All right. Well, I was wondering, I'm like, man, chat is awfully quiet today. No one's talking. I'm like, oh, I'll just keep talking to myself. Like nothing's wrong. All right. I'm glad you guys can see me now. All right. Well, let me, man, I just like implemented everything. Do I restart? Do I just explain it to you? I'll just explain it to you. I'm going to have to. Ken, I was just literally talking to I was talking to a wall apparently. Better, yeah. I need to have another device on. That's a good idea. Thank you, Andrew. Have another device on. Excellent idea. And I'm sad I had like other people in here too. And all right, it's a learning process. It is definitely a learning process. Cool. All right, let me explain what's been happening this past 30 minutes of talking to a wall. All right. Surecart. I could start over. It's just kind of like removing everything. Yeah, I need to get a monitor screen. That's a good idea too. Let's I don't want to get frozen here on a decision. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go back to the I'll explain to you guys the differences of what I'm doing here. Okay. Man, but I want to show you the implementation. Yeah, monitor screen would be really good. What's the benefit of Surecart over Woo? Let's start there. Okay. Why am I using Surecart and why am I not using WooCommerce? WooCommerce is a fantastic plugin. It just adds a bunch of bloat to the database that I really don't want to use. Surecart is all headless, and so everything runs outside of your database, so it runs really, really fast, really smooth. That's why I've loved it. Using it so much, I've used it for my own personal agency when it comes to site care and yearly license fees from my clients, for a bunch of other little things. I've used Surecart a lot, and I've loved it so much. It's very fast, makes everything very simple, but it has some limitations. And one of the limitations I've ran into is that I can, let's go ahead and go, can I disable post types? I can. Let me just disable so I can show you guys what I'm working with here. Let's deactivate. Okay. Now let's double check that I'm going back to a standard here, view. Okay. This is the one problem with Surecart, and I hope they fix this in the future. You have no access to any custom fields, right? With WooCommerce, you can go in and you can make your own query loops. You can pull in the post type of Woo products. You can add in any custom post types you want, or custom fields you want to add in extra information to your products. You can't do that in Surecart. You're only limited to a image, a heading, a description, a price, and basically like an add to cart button with a quantity. Like that is it. That is all you get with your template, unless you want to work. And let me show you this. I'm going to close all this down because we don't need it right now till I get back on my point. Unless you edit the templates, so I can add different kinds of templates here for products within Surecart. But the problem is, guess what it's using? It's using Gutenberg to do everything. We don't like Gutenberg. We're using bricks, right? We want to stay away from Gutenberg as much as possible. Now, we could use bricks, but you're going to be stuck. So look, let me show you here. We could use bricks here. Right now it's defaulting. Let's go back. Right now my products are defaulting to let's go to my single product template I have here. We're going to remove everything that's here. Let's go and add in a section. And we're going to put this as a template settings. Oops, go back. Template settings, conditions, post type. Surecart products. Okay, let's add a heading in here, and let's set this to, this is my Surecart product template, just to make sure it's working correctly. I don't care about the spelling, whatever. Let's go back to my products here, and let's view. Okay, I can override the default look of a Surecart template, but I can only pull in the basic information. So if I go back to here, I'm going to add in some shortcodes here, because that's all they give you within Surecart. So I have a shortcode list here, not this one. Let's do product page guides. They give me a list of like a description I could pull in. So I could pull that information in. I could pull in, let's add another shortcode. I could add in the price. Let's click this one down here. I could add in the media. So this is going to be the actual image that's selected there. Let's move this to the top. I could add in the quantity selector. Again, all shortcodes. And I can add in the add to cart button. Duplicate. Okay. And let's view this again once it saves out. Okay, so I have, oh, and see that did not, whoa, wasn't the media at the top here? Let's go back. Description, price was at the top. Where's my media here? Price, media, let's move that to the top. And let's view the product. Okay, so I could control how a product page looks, and I could add things in within bricks and create some kind of, you know, global conditioning of information for all of my products within bricks. But I don't want to do that. I really want to have unique information per product that I can't add in. I can't add any custom fields into Surecart, so I can't add in any custom information that I want. Let's let me show you the example that I have here. Let's go to my Figma file. On my product pages, I have more that I want to do. I don't want to do just an image, a title, a description, and a button. I want to have a whole bunch of other things, like some information about before you buy, what you're going to receive, the features of this product. I have FAQs. I'm going to have some code snippets. So for some of these products that are free, they're going to be free. I want to be able to have an area where you can copy and paste the code, right? I can't do that within Surecart. So what I need to do is I need to create my own custom post type, and I need to make sure that custom post type is working correctly and it's going to override Surecart. So before I continue, I just want to read some of the stuff here. Repetition is the best teacher, but you'll be able to go much faster. Muscle memory and all that. Yeah, that's true. I could go faster. Surecart is known to hijack live streams, so I've heard. Maybe that's what happened. Yes, Surecart hijacked this live stream. Why do you have to avoid Gutenberg? Great question. Matea was asking that. I hope I'm saying your name right, Matea. You can use Gutenberg. It's just not really all that useful. I every time I've hopped into it, the styling options you have within Gutenberg are nowhere close to where Bricks is. You can't. I think now they finally added the addition to where you can use rem. Before it was just all pixels. There's, I don't know. The format of it is absolutely terrible. So let's go in here. I don't know if you guys are in the inner circle, if you guys know of Kevin Geary, he's hopped in this into full detail about why he hates it. I'm in full agreement. The user experience here of using Gutenberg is just really poor. When you try to add in things and you try to manipulate things within the tree, it becomes really difficult to do. Like I don't even have access to, here it is, all the content on the side. Like there's columns here. I can add in a column. Let's just play with this, right? Really quick. There's columns, but you can't add in sections. Is there sections? There's no sections. Is there divs? There's no divs, right? Column. So you have to add in like a column somewhere. Let's say I wanted to add a column somewhere to the top. And then you'd have to make sure that these, where's it at? Column, image. Oh, it's pulling in images. Ew. It pulls in images. Yeah, see, no, I already don't like using this. There's a lot of, I don't know how to go into full detail about them. There's just so many problems I don't like about Gutenberg. So I try to avoid it at all costs. Bricks is just a far easier, more manageable way of using things. Like I can't even add in like, what is this? What this column, what kind is it? Is it div, HTML anchor? Okay. Enter a word or two. So that I might be able to add it there. And then I have classes, but that's about it. No additional styling here. Anyways, bi-directional relationship field. Okay. Maybe you could leverage something like generic blocks for basic structure. You certainly could. You can. I just don't think it's the best idea, right? Because you have to do. Here's my thinking, right? I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, if I have to use Gutenberg, right? If I can't use bricks, if I have to use Gutenberg, how would I do it? You would have to create individual templates. So each product would have to have its own template created. And I think I could go right here, add a template, and create one for like my mega menu template, but whatever, there. And then here, edit template, leave page. Will it add in? Okay, it's going to add in all the information here. Here, I would have to go ahead and add in all the information that I want to the product, right? So every product that I have would need a unique template, and then I'd have to go into Gutenberg and then update all that information, right? I'm not quite sure about generate blocks. I don't know, I think running generate blocks and bricks side by side would be a terrible idea. You never want to run two builders at the same time. It's just, don't do it. Not a good idea, right? Bricks is already made to kind of work alongside of Gutenberg, so that's the most that I'll go. Create a CPT and relate it to the Surecart product. Okay, so Izzy asked, how come you can't create a custom post type and relate it to the Surecart product? If I go, this was my thinking too. Can I add this navigation? Did they change the navigation on this? Oh, it's their updated navigation. Okay, let's go field groups. I'm gonna add a new field group. Let's say I wanted some custom fields for my Surecart. When I go here to my post type, I do not have a Surecart. I don't have any products. I don't have Surecart products. I don't have anything. I can't even add custom fields to Surecart because Surecart is headless. It is running a whole database external from yours. That's where everything lives. So that's why it's very limited on what you can use. I can't use any custom information. So my thought process was, let me go ahead and start, make sure there's no, Quickly's come a long way. Quickly's pretty cool. There's a lot I don't like about it. I don't like how they tried to revamp the whole class system. I'm not a fan of that. Just keep it simple to classes. But I am very envious of their templates system they have going on. So I do love that. But there's a lot going on there that I love. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I think I disabled it. Is it trashed? Product fields. Restore. No, wait. This is, I'm going to go post type. I have it inactive. Okay. Here's what I did. Because I talked to a wall for 30 minutes doing this, so I want to go back over what I did. Because Surecart is headless, because it's running externally on a different database, okay, it is adding some URLs. Actually, let me deactivate it real quick. Let me go back one step. Here is the URL that it's giving me for individual products. It's giving me products and then / the product name. It also has a page of shop that it adds for me. It even gives me a default layout here. It adds a shop page, which is going to be my archive page. It adds it there. What I noticed though was that when I was trying to check, I have SEO Press, and maybe this is different for other, it might already be in my sitemap still. This might be different for other SEO plugins, but I was checking out my sitemap. That's not it. It should add a different one. This is okay, but anyways, when I was looking at my sitemap, Surecart was not adding any of the product information into my sitemap. It wasn't collecting it. SEO Press can't even see it. I had no idea it was there. So it wasn't adding that to my sitemap. So I'm like, okay, I could technically overwrite it with my own custom post type if I keep everything the same. So if I use the same URL, same everything. So that's what we're seeing right here. But I'll go back here and we'll go to my post types. Let's make this active. Okay. I created a custom post type that had the exact same post type key as the products here. So let's go back real quick. Products. I'm going to use products, not products, because that's what Surecart is using. So I'm going to call it products. And it adds a shop page, which is going to be my archive page. So I want to override that as well. So I'm going to go has archive for my post type and make the archive slug the same as Surecart. And we're going to see if it overwrites. So I'm going to save. And now we might see some other information. Here's my product page, okay? It's blank. And it's not loading Surecart anymore. It's loading its own custom post type page. That's what I want. That's what I want it to do. The problem I ran into is like, okay, now can I add it to my my sitemap, right? And this is a custom post type. So if I go to one of my SEO plugins, you can go to the sitemap, and I'm going to turn on to include this products post type into my sitemap. And so now I have products in my sitemap that I can add with that custom post type. And I even have the archive page added here. Okay, so we're good. We're looking at, I'm overriding some Surecart information. How about if this is also, is there any redirect problems? So let's do a redirect test. Okay. I think this page is down for some reason. Oh, it's up now. And let's grab a product. Oh, one thing I'm missing here. In order to use this method, in order to use a custom post type that overrides Surecart, I have to make sure if I add a product, so let's open this up. Let's close all this down. If I add a product to Surecart, I need to make sure that I add the same product with the same URL into the custom post type in order for it to overwrite. So you'll notice here, if I go view product 3, because this one doesn't exist in my custom post type, it is going to default to, well, the template I created for the Surecart products. Okay, so right now I have that template for Surecart products. If I click on the one that is the custom post type as well, it'll default to a nothing page because I have nothing set up for it yet. That's what I want. Okay, but that's the one thing, the one caveat that I have to do. And I did look into, I was like, okay, can I create like a front end form where I add a product and it adds a Surecart product and it adds my custom post type at the exact same time, syncs up descriptions, syncs up a whole bunch of information. Yes, you can. You can with Sure Triggers. You could do that. Like with Fluent Forms or Gravity Forms, with Sure Triggers, you can make it automate itself, right? The problem was when I was doing that, it was taking like 10, 15 minutes for that Surecart product to get added. So I didn't want to do it that method. I was like, let's just do it manual. So any products that I add, I want to make sure I add them to my CPT as well. I'm going to delete these. Okay, any questions? I tried to explain that the best I could. Let me know in the chat. I'm going to keep going, but let me know what if you guys have any questions there about how to override Surecart. Oh, I was going to do a redirect test. Let me show you guys that real quick. I was thinking, okay, here's my product, my mega menu template. And I was like, okay, is there going to be a redirect issue between Surecart and my custom post type? I checked it and I'm getting an okay, a 200 okay. There's no redirections happening. So we're good. We're solid. We can overwrite it with a custom post type and have no problems there. Just that one caveat. I got to sync the products up together. Let's close all this down. Okay. So now what I've done is now I can create custom fields for my post type. So I have product fields here. I have a description. I have an add to cart button. I have a product price, product information, almost like I'm using, like Woo. I'm using a WooCommerce kind of like product, but I'm using Surecart to drive everything. So it's driving all the, it's driving all of the carts, all the purchases, all the refunds, all the, integration with Stripe. It's handling all that for me, but I can handle the information for the product like a custom post type, like it's a Woo product. So that's what I did here. I added some custom information here. And what I'm pulling in here, let's go view. I'm trying to backtrack here. No, not view, edit. So I need to sync up my names here with my product. And I need to have a way to pull in the links. So I need to have a way to add to cart. And what's really cool about Surecart is it gives me an add to cart button shortcode that I can pull for this unique product. So I'm going to copy this. And I created an add to cart button field. That's just a text field for my product. So what I can do is now when I create the product in Surecart, I can add the product to my custom post type. So I've added it already. Same name, same URL. I want to make sure they match up. And down here, I can add in this add to cart button. So now I can hook into Surecart, use Surecart for all of its functions for the cart and the checkout, but use my own pages. So now I have an add to cart button. I had to add the price in manually, add a description. I can use a featured image. Okay, so let's update. And let's go back to my templates here because I had to kind of backtrack. Let's go templates. Let's go single product. And I want this, I have all this information from the shortcode stuff. We're not going to use all those. I'm going to need one shortcode. And that shortcode is going to be for the add to cart button that we're going to pull from Surecart. Okay. This is going to be my post title, which if you guys don't know this, this is really cool. You instead of having to click over here and then find your dynamic data, you could also highlight all the text in here. Let's close this. Highlight all the text in here, do an open bracket, and then just start typing what it is you want. So if I want the post title, it's just right there. I can do my arrow keys and press enter, and it's going to pull in that dynamic data for me. Just kind of a cool little trick for you. Okay, anyways, next, let's go. I have a price, description, button. So I need to add my price and my description. So we're going to add in a basic text, and we'll do a, let's look at my design real quick. My heading, my pricing, does pricing need to be heading? I don't know. I don't think so. So I'm gonna do text. Pricing will just be text. We'll add both of these as a paragraph. And we'll pull in, let's pull in, this is going to be my price, my product price. This is going to be my description, product description. And let's flip those. And I'll start laying things out on the page. I'm gonna have a lot more that I have to add, but we can go ahead and do that in a second. All right, so here's my product, my CPT. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, not gonna load because I need to set conditions. Template settings, conditions, post type right now is set to Surecart products. I want this to be my products, my custom post type. Okay, so now it should load in some information. Perfect, it is. And so check this out. This is now gonna work. I'm gonna have to style it, but it should now work as an add to cart button, and it's now using the Surecart cart. So I can close this, the cart's showing up here. I can open this, I can change some of my settings, and all that stuff is loading here. So really cool way to get around the Surecart issue. Okay, let's again, if you guys have any questions about that, let me know and I can go back and try to answer them. So let's set this up. I'm just gonna go ahead and start setting this up. Can I add, so here's another question. I want to have an icon in my button. Can I add an icon in my button? I could probably do an after, right? Yeah, I could do an after. No, that was my problem I didn't want to run into. All right, let's talk about this. Another issue that Surecart does is it adds a shadow DOM to some of its elements. And whenever you're using their shortcodes or trying to style things, it's using a shadow DOM. And basically what a shadow DOM is like, I had to look this up because I had no clue. You'll see here shadow root. A shadow DOM is like a DOM within a DOM, and in here has its own styling that's taking place. So I can't style things from my DOM. I'd have to hook into their DOM and then style from within there. But that's all JavaScript stuff I'd have to do. And when I looked it up, it was an absolute pain to do. So I'm going to see if there's a different method I could use here. Yikes. I don't know if I like that. Can I hook in here? Can I add an after element? Again, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Here's my, let's add an after here. And let's make it content. Let's do test. It adds it there. But this is the whole button. I want to be inside my buttons. This is a whole other shadow DOM. Let's see here. Yikes, text. See, there's my text. Can I even get to that? I don't even know if I can get to that. We'd have to test it. Let's see if there's another solution. I didn't think I'd run into this with the button. So you guys are going to learn with me on the fly here. Custom button, custom buy links, price ID, recreating, changing, adding multiple prices. So this is going to be a buy now. This is not going to be a add to cart. So I probably have to work around my limitations. Like maybe I can't add in an icon if I want to use the add to cart. Yeah, add to cart button shortcode. Let's leave it for now. I'm not going to tackle that problem yet. We'll leave it. If I need to change solutions, I will. But let's leave it. No questions coming in, so I think we're good. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start styling this. I have, in my product, I have a featured image. So I've got a featured image already there. So I have something to work with. Let's set our template up. Let's go to populate content, and let's do single post page. We want to target my mega menu template product, apply preview. Let's reload. Oh, it'll refresh for me. Sweet. And it's not pulling in data automatically. So I'm going to check brick settings. I believe this was under performance. No, builder. Do I want to show render dynamic data text on canvas? Yes. Just so I can see what's happening while I'm building. And we'll refresh. Cool. Okay, now I'm seeing information coming in. All right, cool. Let's build it out. All right, what I got first? I got an image first. I got a section, then an image, and then I have, this is going to pull in my categories. So I'll have to add a custom taxonomy to my post type, which I'm not going to do right now. I'll do that later. Probably not in live, just on my own. I have my heading and then I have my description. So let's add all that in real quick. Let's add in in my container up here, I want to add in a div. And inside my div, let's call this image wrapper. Inside my image wrapper, we're going to add an image. Let's add this back up here. Perfect. Okay. Now my image wrapper, you know what? Let's convert this to a block. And if you guys don't know what the difference between a block and a div is, a block just takes up 100% and it is changed to a display of flex automatically. So I don't have to do some styling. It just does it automatically for me. Image wrapper. Oh, wait. Oh, I did wrap with div. Hold on. Do not wrap with div. I want to convert to a block. And now we're converted to a block. Cool, we're good. Image, let's pull in my, no, not that. Don't do that. Dynamic data. We want to do featured image. Okay, that's pulling in. Great, that's what I want. And I want to set this image to a object fit cover. In order to do cover, actually, you know what? I wonder if it does it for me. You do have to set width and height to 100% if you're going to use object or image fit or object fit cover on an image. But I want to see, does it do it for me? So let's check on the front end. It might do it for me automatically. That'd be kind of cool if Bricks does, because I always do it manually. No, it does not. Object fit cover. It just doesn't do the, okay. So we're going to set the width to 100% and the height to 100%. And I want to control the height and everything else within my image wrapper itself. So we're going to set a height of, do I want to do pixels or do I want to do rem? Rem would change in height if I add in, if people change the size of their text on their browsers. So do I care if it changes in size? Not really. Let's do it anyways. I'm using 16 pixels. So let's say I want this to be height of 400 pixels, but I want to use rem. So I'm going to divide this by 16. I'm using a base, so I need to do 25 rem. 25 rem. Okay. Doesn't really show the product all that much. I might need to do bigger. Oh, you know what I did here? I had changed it to be a object fit position of, I believe the first one is horizontal. The next one is like the top. Yep. Let's do that. I want to do it from the top and then middle. So I changed it to 50, 0. And I want to set my image wrapper to be a little bit larger. Let's do 500 pixels. Let's find my calculator again. 500 divided by 16. We got 31.25. Can I copy that? Does it copy? Control C? It does. Okay, that's looking better. Maybe now I can do center. Let's go to my image. Let's do center. It's looking better. It's always going to depend by product. So maybe if I have to, I could pull in some custom things here from the product, but we're not going to do that yet. Okay, let me save. Let me see what's going on here. Cool. Okay, I have my image up top. I want to add in my, oh, one little thing. Did I set this correctly? Image wrapper, I need to set this to a overflow of hidden, just to make sure that whatever is behind it does not overflow and cause some layout problems. So it's going to look the same, but we should be better now. Okay, let's go back to my Figma file. Let me check real quick. How to make images responsive when using set width or height. Do we actually go and change that for every breakpoint, or is there a more clever way? Responsive. You could use clamp. Use clamp function. So if you have a set width or height, right, we want it to get smaller on different devices. We could use, Kevin has a really great one on his website to create some clamp function. So let's see here. Let's say I wanted this to be a specific width. So let's go ahead and create a new one. Let's go to container, image. Sorry, everybody, I'm going to divert for a sec. Let's go ahead and let's add in an image here. And let's say I want this to be set to a specific width. What I'm going to do is, instead of setting a width, I want to do a max width. Try to stay away from width as much as you can. Try to do max width when possible. Just saying like, hey, the max you can possibly be is this. If the screen gets a little bit lower, it'll decrease in size, right? So let me think about this. What we could do is we could say, on the largest screens, right, I only want these to be a width of 400 pixels. Or let's just say 600 pixels, okay? That's the largest on the screens I want them to be. And let's add some space here. I'm gonna add some margin at the bottom. Let's just add in like, there we go, just so we can see what's happening. All right, with max width, it kind of does an automatic responsiveness for you. So let's inspect. And let's open this over here. We'll notice, okay, the size is staying the same on desktop, right? The 600 pixels that I've set it to, or you can use rem, whatever it is. But as I'm going down in size, we can already see, unless I'm having an overflow issue here, maybe I need to set the width, and I might be wrong. Maybe I need to set the width to 100%. Let's try that real quick. Let's see if that fixes whatever layout problem it was having. Okay, let's refresh here. That was it. Okay, so you do want to set a width. I'm setting the width to be 100%. Okay, without it, it's going to go boom, 100%. But I'm saying, hey, max width, I want to be 600 pixels. Okay, so at max, be that. And so when we go down to smaller sizes, the size of it will automatically change with it, right? We don't want to set width to be a pixel value or rem value, because then it'll cause some layout problems. We'll set it to 100%, but set a max width. So that is one way you could do it. If you have, like, let's say you wanted this to actually be smaller on different devices, right? You could do a clamp function. So let's say we're doing, I'm just going to use Kevin Geary's website. Okay, I use these for my websites. So I'm saying my root font size is 100%. I'm not using 6.25. My minimum moldable device is 320 pixels. Maximum is 1366. That's the largest screen size. Minimum value, I want this to be like 100 pixels. Oops, 100 rem. So I want this to be, I'm gonna do a calculator real quick. I want it to be 100 pixels, but we have to use rem, and I'm using 16 pixels as my base, so it's 100%. 62.5 is a 10 pixel per rem, but I'm using 16. So open my calculator again. I want this to be 100 pixels, so we're going to divide that by 16. So I need 6.25 on the mobile device, and on desktop, I want it to be 600 pixels. So let's open up my calculator again. I want it to be 600 divided by 16, 37.5. Okay, so now let's see what happens here if I add this to my max width. Where's my template? There's my clamp, and save. And so now I have a size. You see my image width is changing depending on the size of my browser, but it's not going to be the full width on smaller devices. So it just depends on my use case, right? If I want it to be the full width of my browser window on smaller devices, I can set a max width of 100% and then just set a single point of reference for the max width. Or I can decide, oh, on different browser widths, change the width depending on it. Okay, hope that answers the question there. All right, let's go and delete this. Let's go out. And let's see here. Let's space these out. And what I want to do here is I want to do this from the parent level. So I don't want to add margin to the individual items. These are all spaced evenly. So let's go to my container here. This is going to have a gap here. So we'll do a row gap, and let's do a space of large. Too large. Let's do medium. That's looking better. Okay. What items do I have in there? I have just my heading and just my description. So let's move my description under here. Let's add my add to cart into a new container. Do I want to do a new container? Yeah, we can do new container. Section. Oh wait, let's use advanced themer. I'm trying to get used to it. Add a container here, and let's add in my other information down here. And let's name these. This is my description. This is my top information. Oops, this is going to be my price. And that's going to be my add to cart. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Glad that helped you out. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go back to my design. And I'm going to need to add some information here. We can add in, let's add in a border bottom. Do I want to add in a border bottom? Or do I want to add an element? Don't really want to add in an element, although I could space it out evenly. So I could add in that and space those out. Let's do that. Let's add in a div instead of doing a bottom border. There's multiple different ways we can handle this. But bottom border is probably the best bet. So I don't want to add extra DOM if I don't have to, okay? Let's do things the right way. Top information, I want to add in a border bottom. So we'll do border bottom, 1 pixel. Oh, whoa, 1, enter. Oh, it's because it was using advanced themer, solid. And I want to do color of, I have a custom color I want to use, so var shade of 300 was my custom color. If I remember correctly, was it 400? 500. It was 500. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to add in some padding to the bottom of this to space this out of my space large or medium. And then down here, let's space out all my stuff as well to be a gap of space medium. Okay, we'll check on the front end here. Oh, but I need to gap out that space, that information here too. So let's go ahead and add in a top padding of space large. Okay. Let's refresh. There you go. Things are kind of spacing out better now. It'll need to be adjusted a little bit. There's some things that are off, but we're moving in the right direction. Back to here. Let's change this to an H1. It's going to be too massive, I think. Can I preview this here? That is way too big. Well, it is my H1, so maybe I need to change my H1 styling. But let's save it for now. There is a good candidate for width fit content. So a lot of times, let's see here. You could use ACSS container gap. Oh, that's a good... I don't actually use the container gap very often. So if I did this here, if I did container gap, there's my one, there's my other. That works. The only problem is that I now have... So that's where my problem lies in, is that I have to add in some more... I have to make sure the padding matches up all correctly, right? That's probably not the right method. So adding in a div itself would probably be the better method to make sure everything lines up. It's all centered appropriately. So good idea. I just got to change what I'm doing here. So we're going to do, remove my border. We're going to add in a div here, my section. Although this div needs to be the width of my container, right? Because it's going to be a full width div. Or do I add everything into my container? I'm going to change what I'm doing here. I have to sometimes think through things. So I'm going to add in inside my container. I'm going to wrap all this. Wrap in a block. We're going to move all my information into a block, and then we're going to change this one, convert to a block, and we're going to move this inside as well. So this is just going to be back to my container. Okay. Top information, bottom information. Inside my container, we're going to add another div. And we're going to put this in between. I'm going to set this to a layout. Let's change this to my divider. And we'll change, I got to remove the gap here. We'll go to my container. We'll add in the gapping here of container gap. And this div, I want to be a width of 100%, but a height of 1 pixel. And then we're going to do a background color of my primary 500. Okay, not going to see it here. Going to see it on the front end. No. Background color, primary 500 is a color. Am I doing something wrong? Layout, 100%, height, 1 pixel. Oh, did I mess it up? Did I flip things around here? Because I did some reordering. Image wrapper, heading there. Okay. Bottom container here. Here's my top. Divider. Feel like I did something wrong here. Then use content gap for everything in your container. Okay, so you're saying here, right? Here, space everything out with row gap, content gap, right? Standardize it. Good idea. I love it. Content gap, not container gap. And this should, did I do this as a border? No. 100% height, 1 pixel. It's there. Oh, I know why I did it wrong. It's the wrong variable for the color. It's, I think, P500. Let's check that. No. Why is my background color not working? Real quick, guys, real quick. I'm going to check my... I have some custom CSS where I'm doing some custom colors for these. So let's do WP Codebox, global CSS, and I have, it's P500. So that should be working then. Background color, P500. Unless ACSS made an update recently that now these are not working for my use case, which could be what's happening. Okay, so as I'm going to figure that out later. As an intermediate, as something short here, let's do like shade light, shade medium, shade light trans. Because I want it to be light. So let's do shade light trans 20, and let's change this back to a 1 pixel height. Okay, so we have a border there. Little too light, so let's change that real quick. Background, let's do 40. Again, I'm styling everything at the IDs because I'm going to be using, that's better. I'm going to be using advanced themer to move everything to classes. So that's why you guys are seeing me do that here. Content gap replaces owl. Did they remove owl? Was it deprecated? I'm curious about that because I did use that a lot in some other past designs. So I'm curious if that got removed. Okay, let's keep moving here. Information box. So I have a grid here. These are going to be 2. So I can use automatic CSS. I can do an auto grid of 2. So I can add in 2 blocks here and add in some information. It is deprecated. Good to know. Okay, don't use owl anymore. All right, so here's my bottom container. And you know what? I'm just going to remove... No, I'll leave them here for now. No, I'll remove them because they're just going to be in my way because I can't really tell what's going on. All right, let's add in 2 divs. And my bottom container, I want not 3 divs, just 2. On my bottom container, I want to have a left column and a right column. And we are going to have 50-50. So we'll do bottom container. I want to have a display grid, and we're going to do a grid auto 2, not 3, 2. And we're going to do a gap of... So I wonder if this is where you'd use content gap. I got to figure out how... I'm just going to do a space M for now. Well, let's do because I don't use those. Let's just stick with content gap, and let's see if that's going to keep everything even for now. Okay. I have... Let's go back to my design. What do I have? I have an H2. So here's my H1. Here's going to be an H2 with some information. So here's my... add a heading in here. We'll change this to information. We're going to change this to an H2. And then I need to add in some before you buy information. And this is going to be in the shape of a custom field because this is going to be per product. So we're going to go back to my ACF fields, group field groups, product fields, and product information. I have it added already as a WYSIWYG. So we'll go back to my product here, edit. And this one, so this is what I do for my clients too. Anytime, grid gap. Oh man, Ken, you are teaching me some stuff right now. Because, this is what Frames uses, isn't it? I don't use Frames very often. So I'm assuming that's what Frames does. Grid gap. And then I'm assuming I can change all this. Oh, let's go back to the admin real quick. Sorry, guys, taking a detour. I'm assuming I can change all this with an automatic CSS. Under spacing. Right there, contextual spacing, content gap. Yep, that's cool. Okay, grid gap, space M. Sweet, I'm gonna start using this more. Container gap will be in between containers, content gap for other little things. It's the same right now, but we'll be consistent with it. Cool. Thank you, Ken. All gaps are set within the settings. Got it. Okay. Grid gap. What else do I need to do? I got off track here. WYSIWYG editor. Okay, this is what I do for all my clients whenever I'm doing, especially WYSIWYGs. There's so many problems that could happen with this. So they can add in an H1, very first thing. It's like, we don't want 2 H1s on the page, so please don't do that. To remind myself not to do this, I'm going to go into WP Codebox, or not WP Codebox, field groups, product fields, and I'm going to add in some information here, instructions. If you add a heading, important information. If you add a heading, go start at H3, heading just do H3. Because I myself will understand this, but if clients, I probably have to teach them a little bit, right? Okay. Important information, you're adding H3. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna add an H3, and we're gonna do before you buy, and I'm gonna add in a list here, and we're gonna do all of this. Let's see if I can copy and paste this into a list. Let's just remove that. Can I copy from Figma? I can't. Okay. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. For example, okay, let's update this. And let's pull this in here. So I'm gonna add in a rich text element. So left column, do I have rich text here? Rich text. And we're gonna pull in my ACF, product information. Cool. Okay, there we go. Now we're adding some information here. So now I want to do some gapping here. Again, content gap. The grid gap, content gap are the exact same thing, but let's use, I want my left column to have a display flex, and we'll do a down. Oh, because I clicked something else. Left gap, we want to do this a row gap of content gap. Okay, so now I have some spacing there. And those are aligned left and right. That's an H3, H4 on my screen, H3 on here. Oh, so I have different sizes on these. So let's see what they look like on the front end. And I might need to update those. All right, let's see here. No, that's looking good to me. Yep. Okay, now I need to add my thing on the side here. Okay, so here is where I haven't even touched this yet. Let me get to the right one here. Figma file. I have a card that I'm going to be using everywhere. I can use the content. I'm trying to stay away from using the custom class, the utility classes as much as possible. I want to try to use CSS whenever I can. I just find it, I don't want to have custom class or the utility classes kind of littered throughout the design. So I want to make sure I'm not using those for my use case. Okay, but anyways, I have a card that I want to design that I want to use everywhere. I want to use this on all of my, if I look at my design here, I have it for my product cards. It's the same design. I have it for, product cards are used here. I have some cards here that I want to use. So I have a light version of the card. So I need to think about how I'm going to implement this. I want to create a class for it. That's going to be like my default card, right? Like, this is a card. This is a dark card, right? So I have a light card and a dark card. So here's my light card, which won't stay light. I have actually some animation things I want to do with it. So we're just going to do card dark. Let's create a card. And I want to create this within Sass. And the reason I want to do this in Sass is because I want to be able to extend this styling anywhere. If I need to style it, if I need to pull in the styling of this card, I can pull it in from anywhere. So we're gonna make it so I can pull it in anywhere. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and do. Let's add a class here. I can just add it here. Let's do card dark. This is gonna be for any card that I have dark. Okay. And let's add in some information just so I can see what's going to happen with the information. I'll have my price here. I'll have a divider, and I'll have some information here. So let's add that in. Price, add in a div block, or a basic text to add too many. I didn't. This will be my price. We're going to add a $sign before it. Can you guys, I don't know if any of you guys know here, can you make prices heading? I don't see why you couldn't make a price a heading. Or does it have to be a paragraph? I don't know off the top of my head. So I'm going to give this a class of, does automatic CSS give me like an H2 class or like a text? Let me see. I'm going to check the cheat sheet. Like I want to take in the styling, all the styling of a heading on a paragraph. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some sass right now in a second. I'll show you guys some sass. I do have to get going here in a little bit. I think the not having my stream going at first kind of set us off a little bit. But do they give me a class that I can pull in a heading? No. Like what about like an H1? No. Do they not allow me to pull in some styling from a heading? H1 for all. There's nothing in variables. Okay, they don't. So then I have to make it match my heading. So let's do that. Use the span for price. Got it. And then I'm glad I have some people here. For the price, would you wrap it in something else, right? So I want to do a span. And of course, I'm going to want to do some, what do you call it? Schema for this, some product schema, so that the pricing has some cost on it, all that kind of stuff. But I need to figure that one out. Need to create heading classes in your CSS. Got it. I'll need to do that. Yeah. Heading classes and extend them or something. I kind of wish it had some classes to do that. That'd be really cool. Classes or some variable. Oh, no, because variables, you have to pull into individual areas. See, it's a horror. Thank you for joining. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do span. I'll leave that for now. I don't know if I need to wrap it in something else. Pricing. Is pricing HTML. I just want to make sure I have it correctly to represent a price. HTML specs for me stands of var is not suitable for prices. Use microdata, which I was going to do. Use B if you want to drop. No, I don't want to do that. It's just all span. Span with a class and elements priced differently. Oh, I see. What you mean by using span for the price is by using, like making this a paragraph and then the price itself is a span. That's what I'm kind of getting out of it. So I could do multiple. I'm just gonna do span, and I'm gonna do close the span. I think this allows me to do this here. Right, we're gonna change this back to a paragraph. Okay, we're gonna save. I'm gonna check the front end here. And so now there we go. Now what I can do is I can add in my microdata for schema information to my span. So I want to see, I don't know if that's the right direction or not, but we'll see here. Okay, let's close all this. And I want to make this a style of, let's do typography. I can do font size, which is weird that I'm able to do like H3, right? Okay, I want my color to be my my base, and I want the typography. I need to change this to my Clash display. I want this to be a font weight of 700. There we go. Now we're looking better. What is this? This is an H2. So let's do the same size of H2, just so they match. Yeah, I will use, well, that depends. I might have to use a mixture of both, but the JSON I have SEO press, so I should be able to pull all this information from ACF and pull in those prices. So I technically could do JSON without using microdata. You create, yep, dynamic JSON. Yeah, the ACF fields, exactly. Yeah, so I might just do that. I just want to make sure that I don't even know if I need to have the pricing set up a specific way with HTML. I don't even know if it's needed or not. So I'll just remove the span for now. I'll have to look into that. I don't think it does. I think it can be anything. So I'm not going to stress it. I think I'm worrying too much about the details. Okay, price is good. Let's add in my information here. You'll receive. I can add in some, add a div here. Yeah, let's add another div here. Let's copy this. This I want to change into a, I'll I want to use this anywhere. So this will be like my divider. This will be my divider shade. That's the color it's using. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do copy import styles from ID element. Yes, confirm. Now they should all be at my class. Perfect. So I can copy this now. Copy. And I can paste it in here. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to do let's do content gap here. Or do I want to set the, no, I don't want to set it at the global level. I want to set it at individual level here. We will do display flex vertical, and I want to do a row gap of content gap. Okay. And then I want to add in my you'll receive. This is going to be a repeater field, so I need to add in a header. Let's do that. Let's add in a header here. And I got to get used to using this because this is much faster. Okay. My header probably needs to be wrapped in something because these elements are going to be together and I don't want them to have my content gap included. So we're going to wrap this in a block. Okay. And I need to have a repeater field. So we are going to do, I need to create one. Field groups. Product information is a WYSIWYG editor. I'm going to have a includes, product includes, repeater. Repeater. Okay. Product includes field name. Okay. And this is going to be my text field. Product includes text. And should be good there. No, this wasn't an accidental stream like last time. This was actually planned. I wanted to show the implementation of this, of how to implement Surecart products and use your own styling for unique pages, because Surecart is very limiting. So that's what I was showing today. I'm actually going to end this stream pretty soon here because I hear kids crying. I need to help out, help my wife out with some things here. But let's go back here. Single product. This is going to be includes. I believe it says includes. You'll receive. I like that better. You'll receive. And I added my field group. Let's go back to my product here. Let's refresh and let's save and refresh the builder. Because I need to pull in that data once I have it here. Okay, before you buy, product includes text. I have a couple items here. A JSON file. I remember use Control Tab. It's just much cleaner for the stream. There we go. Add a row. Okay. Update. And what I want to do here is we'll need to make an unordered list. So I'm going to go, where am I at here? I get lost in tabs. In my block here, I'm going to add one more block. This is going to be, so here's my includes block. This is going to be my heading. This is going to be my list. And I'm going to have list items inside of it. So we're going to do another div, or no, I think I could do text. Yep. And this I can change to an li, custom li. There we go. Okay. This I need to change to a ul. This is actually going to be a, unordered list. And then here, because I cannot, I can't query these. I can't query loop these. So this is not going to be, this is going to be a custom tag. Let's just change this to a span. And this is going to be my, let's wrap this. Here's my list. Let's wrap this in a div. This is going to be my list item. And this one I'll change to an li. Okay, good now. And then I want to change this to a query of my repeater. And then we're going to pull in my text, we're going to pull in my, this is includes text. Okay, now let's check it on the front end. Perfect. Do I want the... I kind of like how it's lined up here. So I could do a list none to remove both of these. I'll leave them for now. Let's leave them for now. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna do my SAS card real quick, and then I'm gonna end the stream. So let's make my card, and then let's extend it to this. So I have a class of card dark. That's what I've added here. Let's go back and make sure. I have two of these open. Let's go. My includes text here. Right column, card dark. So let's go ahead and in WP Code Box, I'm going to global. I want to use this card everywhere. I'm going to create a partial for this. I'm going to call this, these are going to be my cards. Okay, for anything related to a card, I'm going to put it in here. We'll add it to my global area and just organize it a little bit. And then we're going to load this into my global sheet. So we'll do @use and load my cards into my global sheet. Okay. Now I have a card dark. And I know that I have a border for this, which I thought my variables were working, but they're not working correctly. So we're going to do, let's see here. Let's do padding first. I do want to do padding on these that are standardized. And I want to do a padding of var space M for all my cards. And I want to have, let's look at my design real quick. I have a border and a border radius. I'm using the new variables that Figma gives me for Figma. So I'm going to do border S. That's what I set. So we're going to do a border, and we're going to do 1 pixel solid, and I'm going to do a var P. I'm going to try the 500 again. It should be working. I don't know why it's not working. That should be my border color. I need, or no. I use, what did I use here? What did I use on my shade? Background. Let's keep this consistent. WP Code Box. Okay. My border radius, I want to set to var radius S. And I need to set the background color to, I know I used this somewhere else. Did I use it somewhere else? I think I need to find one that's going to match my design. Again, not looking for pixel perfect, looking for something that's going to match. It's a lighter color of my shade. So let's try shade light and see how that's going to work. Oh, you know what does, let's just quickly preview it here because I can kind of see it's not going to work, is it? Oh, come on. I thought these were set to preview. They're not. Darn it. Oh, you know why? Again, let's check ACSS and additional styling. No, options. Oh, it's all on. It's just not showing. Okay. We'll just find one here. var shade light. And I'll mess with this on the front end. Here's my front end here. Way too light. Let's do var shade. Where's my card dark? Card dark. Var shade medium. Var shade dark. Shade. That was why it was happening earlier. Now I'm realizing why it was giving me some problems. I need to find a color that's going to match this. Let's do this right now. I might need to make a custom one. Let's see if shade, custom sheet. Let's do shade here. Light trans 80. There's so many different colors we could use. It's hard to figure out like what we want to use here. 20, 10. Is there a shade medium? Ultra dark. Let's try that. All trial and error just to see if I can use what's already built in. Let's do 40. Ultra dark might be too dark. And let's do Let's just do shade trans then. It always helps to have this figured out before, you know, like when you guys are designing and not having to do it here. So they only give me 30, 50, and 70. Let's try this one. No, because it's just, I'm going to have to create a custom color for it. So for now, let's just go and keep it to, where am I here? Shade 800. I'm going to have to create a custom color for what I want here. Then I'm going to pull it here. It's a linear. That's because I have something custom going 1A, 1A, 1A. Let's grab that. Let's test that out real quick. Sorry, guys. You guys are seeing me just test out things. This needs to have a... That's what I'm going to do for now. I'm just going to put in a you shouldn't do this, but for now, until I have until I can create a custom color for it, 1A, 1A, 1A. Save. And we'll update. Okay, because all my cards will inherit this style automatically. So, palette shade, edit shades. Oh, good idea. Good idea. Automatic CSS. I already have it open. Tabs. There's so many. Palette, shade, edit shades. Here's what I want. So can I pull in the HSL value of this? Let's do 1A, 1A. 0010. So I want my light. How about ultra? No. Dark to be, oh, it is ultra dark. 0010. Look at that. Thank you for having me check that out. So I have one that matches it exactly. Var shade ultra dark. Save. Refresh. Bam, we're good. Okay. Thank you, Ken. Saving the day once again. Yes, mix-ins would work for this use case. If you wanted to do mix-ins, you absolutely could. Like I could add in, like if I have a padding mix-in that I want to do, I could do all of that, but I want to, I'm creating a class for this specifically. And then what I'm gonna do is when I need this elsewhere, if I don't want to include a class, I can use the add extend feature. So I can do add extend somewhere and extend the card dark to whatever element I want. So I can use a class just fine. Okay. I think I'm almost there for my card dark. Let's go back to my, let's check out my thing here. We're good. I do have a linear gradient that I want to do, but do I want to do that right now? Why not? Let's do it right now. And I hate these generators. So can I grab, or hate doing gradients? Background. Let's grab this instead. I should have just done this in the first place. Oh well. Let's grab this. And it's not background color. We're going to do a background and linear gradient. I want this first color to be my var shade ultra dark. And then I can do a var shade. Oops, did I remove the, I did, I removed the 0 over here. We don't want to do that. Var, I should have just copied it. Var shade ultra dark. Okay, at 0%. In the middle, I want to do like a var shade dark. And then we'll do ultra dark again. And let's see here. Let's take out this. Okay, and it's going to set a default for me for my background color. I want to set the default to var shade ultra dark. Okay, so let's see if that is going to do what I want it to. Way too much. Can I do like an ultra dark trans? So let's check this out real quick. Var shade ultra dark 60, 80. No, wait, I thought that was one. Trans, oh, that's why. Trans 80. is not enough. Okay, so let's do, I think I can keep this at the custom color then for now, because it's going to be custom. Again, I'm going to figure this out later. RGB here. Let's change that to my var shade ultra dark. And we'll do the same here. Let's copy this. Change the default. Ultra dark. Okay. There we go. Just a slight sheen. Might not even show on stream. So it's just a very slight sheen that I've added to it. Great. Okay, now let's pull over. Last little bit. Let's just want to finish this card and knock it out. Let's go to my product here. Open up Figma. I need to have a purchase button. So let's add in my button. That's going to be a short code. So not in my list. After in my right hand column, let's add in a button. Not a button, short code. And let's pull in my field that I have set up to pull in a short code. So it'd be add to cart button. Okay, there's my button. Not what I want it to be. I have to style it, but we're getting closer. I need to have a link. That will be a pop-up. No, I don't want to deal with pop-up right now. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do that later on my own. Did I save it? Save. Refresh. Okay. So now I have something going that's looking a lot nicer of a product page. Image is too large. I might actually change this. I don't think I like how large it is. I might want to change the design a little bit. Anyways, thank you guys for those of you that have stayed in this live stream so long. I'm going to go ahead and end this. If you guys have any questions, I can cover those real quick. I know there's a delay, so I'll hold off on those. But basically, overriding Surecart with custom post types, making sure that all of the URLs match up to what Surecart gives you. So the shop page, make sure you use the archive of shop. If you're going to have products, make sure that the CPT key is products, not product, but products. And then you can overwrite all the individual products with the URL. So making sure that my products are synced up. Make a menu template is the exact same as my product within Surecart. So if I view this from within Surecart, it's going to take me to my newly created template. And I can still use Surecart's carts and all that other stuff. So thank you guys. Hey, I appreciate you seriously for being here. I hope you guys learned something, if anything, learned something here. But I will see you guys in a later video. And yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys then.